day 2. I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes in case we have anyone come on. Anyone else here? Hoping you had a really great day. I'm loving that it is already Tuesday, but we've only actually had one day of work. It feels super amazing. Hopefully that means this week is going to go quick. So I am going to get started, and I'm sure we'll have more people jump on as we go along. So day 2, everyone. Hey, Miss Amanda. Glad to have you here. Hope it's all going well where you're at, by the way. We're really missing you. Okay, so a little gentle reminder again that as we go into today, we're thinking about why it is we're here. So what it is we want to feel, what it is we want to experience, what it is we want to change, what is it we want to be able to do. And in essence, we're talking about your story. Okay, so the story that you have lived so far and the story you're creating for yourself now. And so really tap into some of the things that you've experienced in the past, whether they're good or bad, and start to think about why those things might have happened, what you've learnt, and what you've actually taken away from those situations, and how they could possibly be shaping your future. But let's get on with day 2. The AM wake-up call. Whoop, whoop. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this actually really has changed my life. It's more just the fact that it's built this anchor for my day. And now, even when I have a bad day, because let's face it, we're always going to have bad days. But now when I have a bad day, they just don't seem as bad because I've built this routine for myself where I'm actually building upon this foundation, and I can carry that with me for the whole day. And my resilience has increased. I'm feeling like I don't respond to situations as quickly or as, I suppose, angrily or emotionally. I'm definitely more mindful. I'm actually sleeping more. So even though I'm more productive, like way more productive, I'm actually still sleeping a really great amount, which is awesome. I think we all have this assumption that when we're more productive, it means we're not going to have as much sleep because we're going to be running around more. And actually, that's not the truth at all. So we're going to be talking about healthy habits and supercharging our day. So I thought I'd just give you a few facts because I know that we all are women. We all generally run on emotion, and we all have hope and faith, and we can all see a vision. But sometimes we just like to know the facts. And the facts are, the evidence is there, and it is clear that actually doing these things in the morning really does work. They really do have the power to transform your day. So it's important to note that also, before I go on, that when I refer to morning routines, I'm actually referencing the time that you are waking up and either leaving your home or transitioning to the next part of your day. So if you work a night shift, your morning routine may actually start at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. You don't actually have to be an early riser to have a morning routine. You just actually have to be conscious of how you're spending your time when you wake up, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, cortisol, which we have in our body, it's a stress hormone. It primes us for taking action. And so one of the reasons the mornings, hey, Rebecca, how you doing? Gosh, your kids are gorgeous, by the way. Hey, Joanne, it's good to see you here. So the reason why mornings actually have the power to transform our day is because our cortisol release happens around the time that we're waking up. And so we're actually on high alert. We can actually get more done. It's the fastest increase in blood pressure, hence why they say it's really good to be doing exercise in the morning. And so that's why when most people are getting up at a decent time in the mornings and having a morning routine, they're able to function really well for the rest of the day because they've actually prepared themselves really well physically as well as mentally. There's a long list of people that have morning routines and swear by them, and it just is proof, really, that you can actually be really high performing and successful if you start your day right. The other thing that science actually says is willpower. And the reason for this is there's actually a chemical in our body. Hey Adele, how you doing? There's actually a chemical within us that feeds our willpower. And the amount of available willpower is actually highest right after sleep. So during the day, the willpower is used and then it actually reaches its minimum level in the evening. So we've actually depleted it by the evening. And that's why often we lose a little bit of self control towards the end of the day and we start to break those resolutions that we've made to ourselves. But if we're actually really utilizing that willpower that's actually sitting there in the morning to our advantage, it can just really help us to propel through the rest of the day. So that's kind of, I suppose, another bit of scientific truth behind it. But really, ultimately, guys, you just have to look at the people that have been doing this their whole lives and how it's actually made them become successful, hugely productive, and I myself swear by it. It really has changed my life over the last couple of years. A little bit of my own experience as well. So my mother-in-law got really, really sick last year. It was a really tough time for us. And by then I had actually built up a 20-minute morning routine. So I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I really, really noticed, even though I was obviously worried and we were all kind of under the pump and it was a stressful situation, I was nowhere near as stressed as what I usually am because everything else went out the window. Our lives changed completely, but my morning routine stayed the same. And I made sure I did it every day, or 5 days a week. I usually try to do it minimum. And it really, really did help. I felt like when I needed to be switched on and be with the family, I was switched on and I was focused because I knew that I'd had that time in the morning to just debrief with myself and get my mindset sorted. So yeah, that was my experience. And I'm sure there's going to be many, many more examples. But yeah, I highly recommend finding some time when you wake up at whatever point of time that is during the day and really start to think about the habits that you can form to help you stay really productive and really focused during the day. These are some habits that I teach my clients. It's only a very small, I suppose, handful. And look, ultimately, at the end of the day, there are so many different things you can do with your morning to help you. All you need is Google. You just Google it and you'll find the habit. And you have to try it on. There are certain things that are not going to fit for everyone. It's really about trial and error, thinking about, what resonates with you and then giving it a go. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But these are some of the things that I find that are a little bit easier and they don't take very long. Gratitude, that is one thing that I feel like everyone has to do. You have to be thankful at the very start and end of your day. Being thankful and having gratitude, it really does completely change your mindset. And the one thing I would say about gratitude as well is that you really need to be specific with it. So actually, instead of saying things like, "Oh, I'm just grateful for my beautiful family," which is great, actually be specific. Is there something about your family that day? Is there an experience you had with them the night before? Because ultimately, we're going to end up running out of things to say, and then we're going to think that we're just not grateful, and that's actually going to lower our confidence. So just be really specific about what it is you're really grateful for. It could be something in the past, something you know that's coming, but try to be specific around it. And the thing about gratitude as well, which I think is really interesting, is that it actually alters your thought patterns. So you actually really do think fewer negative thoughts when you're grateful. They also say the evidence also suggests that it improves your sleep, it increases your energy, and it gives you stronger resilience, which I can definitely vouch for. Visualization. So some people find this a little bit corny, a little bit like, oh, too fluffy. And it really is about imagining yourself in that moment, living the life you want to live or achieving the goal you're wanting to achieve. It's about holding that mental picture. I actually started by doing the bubble exercise. So if I'm having trouble with visualization, because I'll be honest, that's one thing that doesn't come naturally for me, I'll often just picture myself sitting inside a bubble. And it's a particular bubble that can't be penetrated. So all the stuff that I want less of in my life stays outside of the bubble. So all the things like being offended, being anxious, being worried, other people's opinions, bad attitudes, it all kind of stays outside of the bubble. And I'm safely inside the bubble in my own kind of state of peace and gratitude. And just if I can visualize that for 2 minutes, it really does work. Give it a go, see how you go. It really does, visualization really does work. So we actually, when we're doing it, we're stimulating our subconscious, and it's the same brain regions when we visualize an action and when we actually perform that same action. So, for instance, a lot of athletes have used visualization to make them become the athletes they are. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Muhammad Ali. There's been a lot of them actually. It's actually a really big thing to do in the sporting world, believe it or not. So give it a go. Mindfulness. There's some really good apps around mindfulness. I'm not going to go too much into that because most people are kind of aware about mindfulness now. Smiling Mind is actually one of my personal faves, but look, there are plenty out there. And once again, you only need to do a couple of minutes every day to actually make a difference. You are actually physically remodeling your brain when you do mindfulness. Just be aware of that. So it isn't just about you changing yourself mentally. The research has actually shown that when you train your brain to be mindful, you're actually remodeling the physical structure of your brain, and that's why it does reduce anxiety, increase your ability to focus, and yeah, a lot of women that have had are really self-conscious about their bodies have found that that's been really helpful for body satisfaction as well. So I think that that's really interesting. Exercise, we all know exercise is really good, and it's really great to kickstart your metabolism first thing in the morning. And we talked about the cortisol before as well. It's just you do burn more in the mornings. Look, ultimately, exercise any time of the day is going to be fantastic for you. But it really does make a difference if you can be doing it in the morning. And the other thing that I absolutely do in the morning is I listen to podcasts. And I just have a few on hand that I find really inspiring and that really talk to me. If you want some suggestions, please message me. I'm happy to share with you the podcasts I listen to. But yeah, just really fuel your brain like you do your body. Fuel it with the stuff that makes it work as best as it can. And I mean, I suppose this goes back to last night as well, when we were talking about social media and the fact that we need to actually feed ourselves properly when we're using the social media feed. So fill your feed with what feeds you is what I say. Don't follow people that make you feel crap. Like, even if they're your friends, actually choose the things on social media that are inspiring you and motivating you, and really pushing you and challenging you to be a better person. You'll see your friends anyway. It doesn't really matter. Be really mindful of what you're following. The most important thing, and this is the one thing that I really want you to take away from tonight, and that is setting intentions for the day. If there's anything that you do in the morning when you wake up, anything at all, so even if you intend to get up for 20 minutes and do something, but you only end up getting up for 5 minutes, this is what I want you to do. Setting intentions. So a couple of facts. You're actually 42% more likely to achieve your goals when you write them down. That's huge. You then have a 65% higher chance of reaching your goal when you make yourself accountable. And so that might be writing it down for yourself, or it could be sharing it with someone and making sure that they help you stay accountable. It could be working with a coach or a teacher, your PT, whoever that might be. But become accountable. It really does work. So this is where I'm going to quickly go through the Everyday Greatness Journal. I think majority of people have downloaded it. There are some links in this group as well as in the actual event. So make sure you download it when you get a chance. It is a PDF version, and I am hoping to publish it this year, which is really, really exciting. And then you can actually buy the hard copy version. But yeah, for now I'm just doing a little bit of trial and error with it. So On that Everyday Greatness Journal, you'll notice a few pages. There's a page to set your weekly intentions, a page to set your daily intentions, and then a page to help you out with your health and fitness. And it's more like a food diary part of the journal where you can actually write what you've eaten for the day and, how you feel about that and what it is you want to change about that and what you feel really proud of. But what I am going to go through tonight is firstly the daily one, because if there's any part of it that I would prefer you focus on to begin with, it's the daily, and everything else you can kind of do as you move along. But for now, I just would say let's just start with supercharging your day, right? So the very top of the daily greatness journal. Now I've got an example here on the left. And you'll see under example, I've given you some examples based on a health goal, right? So intentions are your intentions for the day. And I do not want you to ever list more than 3 intentions every day. And I know that a lot of people are going to be like, what? I've got so much to do during the day. I can't just only intend to do 3 things. The reality is you're going to get a lot more done. There's going to be other stuff out there to do. But we are actually 40% more likely to get something finished if we focus on one thing at a time. And I know that's almost like blasphemy talking to women about this, because we love to pride ourselves on being the most amazing multitaskers. I know, I get it. I used to as well, and I kind of still do. But ultimately, the fact of the matter is, it actually takes our brain, I think it's something like 10 to 15 minutes to actually fully refocus into an activity or a task if you've been switching around doing different things. So we're actually losing a lot of time when we're multitasking. We think we're not, we think we're making up the time. But actually what's happening, because our mind is taking a little bit longer then to refocus on what it is you were doing in the first place, you're actually not completing it as quickly as you think. And so when I was introduced to this concept of just unitasking, focusing on one thing at a time, I was like, oh my gosh, I am going to be up till midnight. Like, how am I going to get things done and be able to keep going? And ultimately, it really actually made me work quicker. So just by focusing on getting those 3 things done, everything else kind of happened as it needed to. But those things just managed to get done so much quicker that it hasn't really ever, I suppose, impacted my day to the point where it means I'm staying up later. If anything, I'm actually probably going to bed that little bit earlier. I actually go to bed, believe it or not, at 8:30 every night. So I wake up between 4:30 and 5 a.m. And I'm in bed by 8:30. And guys, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to prove to you how doable this is. But I work full time. I have a child, and I run a business. And I'm able to go to bed at 8:30 at night and read. I just read. Would you believe I read children's books to put me to sleep? And then I wake up early in the morning and I get shit done pretty much. So don't fall into the trap of thinking you've got to do loads and loads of different things. Be really intentional and just list no more than 3, okay? And as you're writing these intentions for your day, think about when you're going to do them. Have a think about, how that's going to look. It's almost like you're pre-planning your day a little bit. And ultimately, you know what, guys? I know this sounds ridiculous, but if you actually don't get around to doing those 3 things, there's been plenty of days where that's happened for me, where I just haven't gotten around to doing those 3 things. And I actually don't feel bad about it, because I've written these down. I know they've got to be done. They can be done the next day. Yeah, I actually feel less guilty having written them down, knowing that I've spent that time in the morning being intentional. And life happens. Shit gets in the way. We all know that. So, don't feel bad if you don't actually get through that list. Just be as intentional as you can. And just know that by getting up in the morning and having done this, you've already more than halfway there. You've shown up for yourself, which is huge. The other thing that I have on this daily page here is a little area for you to write what it is you're thankful for. Once again, writing it down is way more powerful. Now, your mojo here, it says my mojo reminder. That's my language. That's how I say affirmations. And some of you may know what affirmations are, but they're generally phrases that you will tell yourself, to help build up your resilience and your confidence, and to help your mindset. So help you start thinking in a way that's actually going to empower you. And give weight to what it is you want to do. So, as an example, one of my main affirmations that I do throughout the day, that I tell myself throughout the day, is I am worthy, I am loved, I am enough. And I've actually got like a little timer on my phone that says intentions. And so when that goes off, I know that I need to say that to myself a few times. And I know it sounds really corny and ridiculous, but it is actually training your mind to think those things. And over time, your subconscious is talking to your conscious, and your conscious is eventually going, oh yeah, I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm loved. So always do your affirmations in the present tense, not I will or I want to, or it has to be I am, I do. It has to be right now. Don't get too caught up in that though. What I really want to focus on, and what I really want you to what I really want to encourage you to think about, is your intentions each day. That, I think, is the key to starting and to really supercharging your day. The other little bit there at the end, thoughts, is really for people to just journal and do whatever it is they want. I'm not huge on journaling, but I love just doing bullet points. So that's kind of the space that I use for that. Very quickly, the weekly page that you will find in your journal, that is a good one as well if you do have some goals that you really want to start getting on top of. Again, focus on one thing at a time. So it's okay to write down, your 1 to 3 goals that you do have in mind, but just remember to focus on one goal at a time. Do not overwhelm yourself, because what will happen is you won't actually, I suppose what I'm trying to say is that if you have too many goals, you're less likely to achieve them, and that will then in turn mean that your confidence will actually decrease. So just be really mindful of that. When you focus on one thing at a time, you're actually increasing your confidence, because you're actually more likely to get it done and to achieve it. So one goal at a time, ladies. Needle movers, just in case you weren't aware what these are the small steps. These are the small little actions that you need to take in order to reach your goal. So for that week ahead, you've got your goals listed. They're not goals that you necessarily have to do that week, but it's just to kind of keep the goal at your forefront. The needle movers are maybe the things that become your intentions each day. Yeah? So once you have your list of needle movers, then you can actually start to go, okay, my intentions today, I might actually put one of my needle movers down. I can probably get one of them done today. Habit tracker as well. I'm not going to go into too much length about that, because habits is like tracking your habits can be a whole other lesson. But when it comes to habits, make sure that it's just one habit at a time. And it could be that your habit is listing my intentions every day for a week. Habits generally take 28 days, ladies. 28. Well, scientifically they say 21, but I am going to tell you 28 so that you can seal it. Seal it up and make it happen. So make sure that if you start a habit, that habit stays on your habit tracker for at least 4 weeks. And then tick each day that you have actually done it. Try not to get too down on yourself when you don't do it. There are plenty of times when I'm setting myself habits. Oh, sorry, I've just gone back there. Sorry guys, I don't know how to go back there. Don't know what's happened. Previous, here we go. Yeah, don't feel so bad if you don't get your habits done. Life is life. It really is. It's reality. And I think the biggest hurdle for us sometimes is just really accepting that, this is life. It really is. And we just have to take it as it comes. But the best thing that we can do for ourselves is at least try to start our day right. And at least go in with some sort of focus, because that will be what anchors us through our day and helps us get through those really challenging times. With the self-reflection part, that's what you would do at the end of that week. So say you filled in this weekly page on a Sunday, which is what I do. Um, I fill it in on a Sunday afternoon, ready to go for the week ahead. With the self-reflection part at the end there, that's for you then to do the week later to kind of look back and go, okay, well, what worked for me this week? What didn't work for me? Why did I miss that day of exercise? Was it because of the weather? Was it because I wasn't organized enough? Was it that I'm trying to do the wrong class? So, really have a think about it. Don't use it as a time to get down on yourself. Use it as a time to just go, you know what, this is what I'm going to try next week. Um, and when you need to celebrate, celebrate. So if you've had an awesome week, go out and do something really amazing for yourself. I mean, I go out and take myself out for a hamburger. I literally do. I love burgers. So it's like I will go and treat myself to a nice, awesome, big, juicy burger. Um, so, yeah, make sure you celebrate those wins, girls, and don't be so hard on yourself. And so, just to recap for tonight, ladies, and obviously you'll be able to watch this again, but think about what a morning routine might look like for you. So start to think about, I would start usually, I tell my clients, start with 10 to 15 minutes and build up from there. So I do 1 hour now, but that's taken me 2 years to get to the point where I'm doing a full hour of morning routine. So really just start small because that's what's going to build your confidence up, and it really is a habit. So even doing a morning routine could be the first habit that you work on. And just 15 minutes a day. So it could be that you might just do 5 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of mindfulness, and then 5 minutes of filling your journal out. But like I said, the most important thing is the intentions. Really just try to stick to writing down your intentions. So make sure you download that free Everyday Greatness Journal. I've just noticed that it says 111. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. It should be 123. Sorry about that. But anyway, download your free Everyday Greatness Journal. If you can't find the link, message me. I'd be more than happy to resend it to you. And yeah, write no more than 3 daily tensions every morning for the next week and really see the impact that it has on your day. It does take a little bit, but you will notice a difference. I'd really actually love to hear your feedback, girls. So yeah, after the next week or so, once you've been doing this for a little while, send some comments through. I'd love to know what's actually working for you and what's going on and how it might have changed your day. And yeah, that's it. So guys, the girls that are on here, has anyone got any questions about the morning routine? Anything they wanted me to kind of go over again or revisit? I think a lot of these girls actually that I'm seeing joined, I've actually worked with a little bit before too. So you're probably a little bit more on top of it. But yeah. And look, honestly, girls, just send me a message. It's totally fine. I will respond ASAP. And otherwise, book a call. I'm happy just to have a 30-minute chat with you. I do have my calendar link as well. I'll actually put that in the comment section tonight. So if you do want to have a chat, more than happy to have a 30-minute chat with you and just really help you to map some stuff out and talk through things with you. But thank you for joining me, everyone. I'm hoping you're having a really amazing week, and I will speak to you all soon. See ya, ladies. Bye.